little bit laggy. Is it all good? The line's all good now, right?
Broadcast is live.
Yep, we're live right now. So here we go. This is the moment we've been waiting for. In front of us is Guy Sebastian. What's up, Guy Sebastian?
Kind of in front of you, in front of the screen. Really normal now. I've been doing all of these, on Zoom and all sorts of stuff. It's crazy, but hey, we're staying connected, which is important.
I mean, you have had such an amazing run. I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day when you won Australian Idol and when you came to Malaysia for a tour, I interviewed you. And this was a different radio station. We sat down and we were chatting, and the lines were going crazy. And then out of all of that, suddenly when I picked up one of the calls, there was this lady on the other end of the line that went, "Hello, can I speak to Guy, please?" And it turns out it was your neighbor from Klang.
From Klang.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. You know, I visited Klang just recently. I went back to my old school. So when I was in Malaysia last, just recently,
Right.
Yeah, I went to Simpang Lima where I used to go to
Simpang Lima?
Simpang Lima, yeah. And then I visited like my father, my dad's dad, so my grandfather. I'm named after him. His name's Guy Theodore Sebastian, and I went to the gravesite, like where he's buried, and it was kind of odd seeing a gravestone with your name on it.
I know, right? Oh my God,
it was crazy, but it was so good to get back home and to see, you know, when you're older and you go back to your childhood places, in your mind everything's so huge, you know, so big. And I remember I was driving where we used to live, and there's this place where I used to like play in the drains, and in my mind it was like Ninja Turtles, you know, with Splinter and everyone, and it's like massive.
Are these one of the huge monsoon drains?
Well, I thought it was huge, and then I went back and it's like this tiny little drain, and right now it like doesn't even come up to my hips. This drain, but in my memory, it was so huge, and I always, you know, just the little things. Like I used to love, little memories. There was a shop at the end of our street, like a little corner store. And I remember there was always little stray kittens, and I used to love playing with these little kittens, and it was weird. It was so nice to go back and see, you know, what life was like and how different life is now as well. And it's it was.
So were you Taman Chiliong or Taman Gembira?
Oh, I have no idea. What does that mean?
Because Fabes, you grew up in Klang, right? You're from Klang.
Who, me? I'm from Klang.
You. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Klang.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I remember all sorts of stuff. You know what's funny? I was telling my my kids, I say to them, I just put them to sleep, my two little boys, and I asked them at nighttime, do you want a real story or do you want a fake story? And just in the last like maybe month or two, or since COVID, like since lockdown, they've been asking me for real stories because I think they want to know more about their dad. And it's funny because I was telling them about Klang, and just last night I told them the story about when we got a dog. We got a little puppy because we've got this dog here. Come here. All right, he's actually in trouble. He's not coming. He just just before this interview I had the mop because he did a little wee outside, and I mopped. I was my dog. 1 second, I'll grab him.
Oh, I love doggies. Yay! Oh,
he's gonna go get his dog.
My life has been made.
There he is. Oh,
doggy.
He's very cute. He's our
he's
baby.
lovely.
His name's Ronald.
Ronald,
yes, and he's the best. He's our best friend, and he's
Ronald.
Did he just wee on you?
Well, I'm hoping it's not wee. There's wetness.
Oh no!
No, I think it's just put him outside, and it's just raining outside, so it's probably I'm hoping just rain. But you know, I told the boys this story about when we bought a dog, and my mum, she said, do not play with the dog, clean your room first. We just got back from school. She said, after you do your homework and clean the room, then you can play with the dog. And I told the kids how I disobeyed mum, and I took our brand new little puppy across the street. This is quite a sad story, but I took him across the street, and we had this park across the street in Klang where we used to live. And I was playing with the dog, and then he ran back towards the house, ran across the road, and got run over.
Oh no!
And so I felt so guilty because I didn't listen to my mom, and it was the boys want to know about all the sad stories, but also obviously the good stories, and I told them that as a lesson that I learned when I was young to listen to my mom.
Been a brilliant example of as to why you need to listen to your parents.
Exactly, and hopefully we don't need to have our pets die to learn that lesson, because that's pretty extreme. Right? but it happened, and I was heartbroken. My brother Oliver, he's 3 years older. He just gave me the worst death stares, and he just didn't talk to me for weeks and weeks.
Oh, man.
Anyway, look. Yes, but and then a lot of the other things I remember is mainly food based. I know in Klang, bak kut teh is like.
Oh yes, bak kut teh. Say it like it is, man.
Good job.
And so, I mean, I was really, really fit a little while ago. I did like a Men's Health cover, which is not normal for me. Dude, I got like shredded.
Good on
and
you.
Nice.
And then I went to Malaysia. And
I love it. And then I went to Malaysia.
All of my hard work was gone because I ate so much roti canai and so much ice kacang.
But apart from all of that, man, what do you really miss most about let's just say Klang, not Malaysia, but Klang? What do you really miss most?
The people. I miss the people. I think the Malaysian people are very sarcastic and fun. Everything's they don't take life too seriously. They have a wicked sense of humor. My whole family did. We had mixed, so we had some Chinese in our family. We had Sri Lankan. And yeah, it was. I just miss the people. I love that people didn't take things too seriously. They could see the fun and light in life. It's a really good culture, and we're obsessed. That's probably one of the hardest things. It might be the longest I've stayed away from Malaysia, I think. Because of COVID and because of the border closed and stuff like that. And we're dying to come home. And once the borders open, I'll be back there to, I guess, perform and to visit as well.
Brilliant.
Nice. But have you ever come back just to visit, just not to perform, but to see family and friends? Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Lots more times probably to visit than to work, because and not too long ago I took the kids there, and that was really cool. We just kind of hung out. I got them to try all the food, and they're getting they're Australian kids. They're raised like Aussies. They're like me when I was a kid. I used to down chili, crabs, and just like I could eat spice, whereas my kids are like true Aussie kids, blue eyes and blonde hair, and they're very cute. He's got my eldest Hudson. He's big blue eyes. He's got a big afro like what I had.
All right, I remember the fro.
I've cut my head short now. We all do. Oh yeah, no, and then I've got Archie.
You got to do a quick shout out to. We've got people from Singapore, Brunei.
Brunei.
Saying hi to you. We've got people from Klang, Penang.
All over.
I saw some people right from Singapore. I was on the same trip. I went to Singapore as well, and there's someone Dayanku, all the way from Brunei. It's amazing.
Brunei.
Hello, everybody listening. It's amazing, and someone from Klang. Very cool.
That's where you're from, Taman Chiliong Klang.
That's right. Yes.
Right. One of my friends was saying. Sorry, you go ahead.
No, my nickname when I was young was Chiseong. My
no
Chinese.
Way, really?
Young, yeah. Yes. That just reminded me.
Next time I bump into you in Klang, I'm calling you Chi Seong.
Yeah, well, it's funny. My Chinese nickname was Chi Seong, and my like the Sri Lankan nickname was Deepak. That was my pet name. Yes.
Nice. Okay, you know what? We gotta get to this, man. The song "Standing with You." What an amazing song.
So good.
I know talking about Klang and everything was really fun, but that kept ringing in my mind that I gotta ask you about this song. I know how it came about. It was about your cousin, and that inspired you to write this song. But it's very different from a lot of the other stuff that you had.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Look, I love
and
a
it's
ballad.
very easy to listen to, but it's just an amazing song. I mean, how long did it take you to write this?
Well, I wrote it in the same day. I was in LA actually. I was in just in March, so not long ago, and it was right as the whole pandemic was happening and everything was getting a bit crazy, and everybody was telling me, maybe don't go on this trip, maybe don't go overseas, and because they might shut the borders, and I was like, it's okay, we'll be fine. I'm just going to write songs, it'll be okay. And then once I landed in LA, it started to get very serious.
Blowing up, yeah.
And so I had to cut the trip short. But while I was there, I was actually on my way to a writing session, and my cousin actually, a lot of my Malaysian family, they live in Melbourne now, and one of my cousins from Melbourne, he shared on Instagram his journey with depression, and it was a really brave thing that he did. He wanted to help people and share what he had been through and what helped him. And I was kind of really heartbroken reading it, because I had no idea, I had no idea that my cousin was going through this, and he was suffering, I guess, alone for quite a long time without making it public. And so then I got to this songwriting session, and I said to the guy I was writing with, Jamie, can we write a song that's going to help people throughout this time, because there's a lot of people, my cousin included, that are really suffering at the moment. And so we sat down and wrote this song. And the first time I sat down to actually record the vocals, I sung it top to bottom. And then once I got to the end, we both just started crying, which is not something that happens very often in the studio. And but I think we knew that we'd created something that was going to help people, and so far, I've been absolutely blown away. You would be in tears if you read some of the letters we get every day about how this song has affected so many people. So that's the dream, as a songwriter, when you write something that can actually make a difference and help people. I love an up-tempo song. I've had a lot of a lot of songs of mine have been successful that are up-tempo, happy, soulful. But this one, I guess it has a big heartbeat behind it.
I mean, this song, well, we literally ran a campaign based on this song, Standing With You.
Standing With You.
It made my month, actually. That made really. And the video that you guys, I watched it just earlier. About staying silent. It's just such a beautiful concept, and it good on you guys for looking out for your listeners and people who you're influencing, because it's very needed at the moment.
And we thank you for that song. It's truly an amazing song. So hello from Adelaide. Love your new song.
That's where I moved to. I went from Malaysia. I moved to Melbourne briefly, and then grew up in Adelaide. Now in Sydney, but I love Adelaide, and they've been my brother's still there. My mum and dad are still in Adelaide, and they rub it in all the time, because Adelaide's been very diligent, and they've got
so well, right?
cases at all, so that they've done very well.
They're free to move anywhere they want to.
They are.
Yeah.
Right.
Guy, I heard that you're working. Sorry. Yeah, I heard that you're working on the alternate version of this Standing With You. Like, I just saw it on your Instagram story today. So can you tell us a little bit more of what it's going to sound like, or is it a secret?
I'll tell you a little bit, because I've just
yes.
Oh, gee whiz!
Nice.
I got the password wrong in my computer. That's not a good start. This is it here. It's a lot of editing has been going on, and it's guitar based. So I got my actually a friend of mine who even he himself has had a really tough time recently, and he's a beautiful guitar player. I got him to do the original I wrote on piano, but I got him to place it around guitar. So
Ooh.
it sounds like. Hang on.
I'm so excited.
Ooh, I hear it.
It's a long intro, sorry.
No worries. Sounds great.
The more I tell you to do this, more you tell yourself you're useless. And the advice right now is foolish. Anyway, that's the vibe. And then I've just programming some drums and stuff, so it kind of sounds very different. But I'll be the voice in your ear, quietly destroying your fear. Oh, you won't even know that I'm here, but I'm standing with you tonight.
Nice.
Oh, thank you so much for playing that for us.
Have a listen to these drums. I really.
Yes.
I don't know how much of that you can hear. You probably can't hear a lot of it.
It sounds good.
I can't hear a lot of it, but it sounds good. So are both the versions going to be on the upcoming album, on the new album?
I think this current version will be a bit of an exclusive thing, I think, for streaming, and then that's right, isn't it, Talina? Yeah, it's like a Spotify exclusive, and for just an alt version. So it'll be available for people to listen to. It won't be like on the album itself, because the original version is fine how it is, but yeah, look, I've been putting the final touches of the album on the album just this last few weeks, and hopefully I would say probably by mid next week I will be done with everything I can do on it, and then it'll just be a matter of the engineers who are mixing it and mastering it.
Awesome.
So I'm very close. And yes, hello Mark Sylvester.
Justin Sylvester.
Cool. Now, what about the music videos though, for the songs that you write, the things that you put together, right? I mean, if it's something that you thought about and something that you made, out of fiction, great. You can be super creative about it. But this is a real story.
And I think, look, for the last few videos, I've wanted to be not so literal, but I've wanted to not get too abstract. I've wanted to really kind of paint the picture of what my songs are about, and not make people think too much. Like I think this, obviously in every video there's some hidden messages that only really I and the director know about, and then there's but this video in particular is really beautiful. It follows there's a bunch of different characters, and they basically are all having their own battles in life, and they're such beautiful individuals who are in this video, and it's the only video I've ever watched and then cried at the end of it. I couldn't believe how beautiful it came out. James Chappell is this local guy here who is an amazing director, and we shot it in this old warehouse where there's all these old abandoned trains, and it was just such a beautiful place to shoot. But you will love it. When you watch the video, there's a moment where it turns around, and it's quite beautiful. We've just had a question from Tengku.
Tengku An. Yeah.
What's inspiration when I'm writing a song? Oh, I guess look at Tengku. It's always different, like a lot of songs are born out of me being inspired. I'll be going through certain things, or someone that I'm close to might be going through something, and then, to be honest, sometimes I just sit down and I just start writing, and it's not something that means anything personal to me. It's like I'll bring up a drum loop or something, or I'll find a cool synth sound, and I'll just start writing. And like I wrote a song just recently. I finished it yesterday, called "If He Won't," and it's basically I was kind of channeling what I went through a long time ago, which I feel like everyone's gone through, and it's just saying like this guy treats you so badly, and I would love to tell you that, hey, it's going to be okay, and he'll come good, and he'll treat you well, and you should stick in there. But really what I want to say is, if he won't, I will. I will love you. It's so sometimes there's stuff that I'm not personally going through at the time, or it might be an fun song that I don't want to think about too much, and it just kind of, I just write it. And so most songs are inspired by something that I'm going through, and then some others are I just write, and it comes out and I finish it, and it's a vibe. And so
Since we're talking about this, right? I was actually having this conversation with my boss earlier on today about writing songs. Now, I've tried to write songs in the past, right? And after 2 lines, writer's block. Writer's block. 2 lines. That's it, right?
Yeah.
And you could tell a whole story, but then it just doesn't come out as seamless, as nice as you want it to flow, right? And every writer has a tip or a trick. What's yours? Something you would like to share with tons of people out there who are trying to create music these days, with YouTube and stuff like that. What is that one trick or tip that you can share that would make a difference in songwriting?
Well, I think it mainly boils down to not comparing. I think I'll listen to John Mayer and I'll listen to his lyrics, or I'll, there's so many, right, Julia Michaels and all these beautiful songwriters, and I think to myself, I wish I could say it as poetically as that, or and I guess you have all these comparisons. We live in a day and age. I mean, you look at Ed Sheeran or you look at so many other songwriters. It's not about necessarily being poetic or having the best analogies. I think nowadays a lot of songs, people are just saying things very conversationally. So I would say don't try and be somebody else. Don't try and measure yourself to somebody else and how they would say something. Music is personal. Just say it how you would say it, and then it'll at least come from an honest place. Because I feel like if you write lyrics that you can't relate to yourself, the delivery when you sing it won't sound as authentic or as honest. And sometimes you can have the most simple lyric that is just everyday speech that somehow feels really honest and really beautiful. So don't compare. I think if you want to write, just write. Writer's block is a thing. It happens. But I have found I will sit in a studio and be stewing over lyrics and trying to find that hook or that melody. And almost every single song I write, the bulk of it is written when I go downstairs to make a coffee, or I take the dog for a walk.
Right.
And when you're not thinking too much, right?
When I'm not thinking about it, because the chords and everything is still going through the back of my mind, and then I'll suddenly have an idea when I'm, taking out the trash or something, and I'll quickly record an idea to my phone. So step away and don't compare.
Yeah,
nice,
guys,
cool. June Chan.
Have a guess who that is.
Who?
It's my mom.
Oh my God, it's your mom, Ashley.
Mom is watching us on Facebook Live. Hi, Mom. You weren't paying attention earlier, Mom. She says, are you planning to visit Malaysia?
Does she always watch your Facebook Lives?
Oh, she's my #1 fan.
Oh, we love Mom.
Oh.
Love my mom.
Teacher now.
Someone's asking about Yuna. Yuna is one of the best artists I have ever met in my life. I was in LA when I met Yuna, and I remember going into the studio and we were recording her vocal, and I was with Dre Bombay. He's a producer and a writer in LA, and I just remember hearing her do this take on this song. Right, one take. It could have been the take, like from top to bottom she sung, and it was literally perfect. Like, it was amazing. Wow. Her voice was crazy. So she's amazing. Malaysia has some incredible artists, and I think Yuna's flying the flag so beautifully.
Nice. So you would collaborate with Yuna?
Oh my gosh, of course. I'll collaborate with anybody who is making good music and who I'm into. I collaborate with people just off Instagram that I follow and find, and I'm not always trying to chase a big name or something. It's not right. That's what I'm about.
Okay, Guy, I'm gonna send you a voice recording one of these days.
Yeah, I was just about to tell you, Guy. I have my singing lessons starting next week.
Exactly. Done.
One of my best friends, Lai, in Brisbane, sings backup for you, right?
He does, yeah. Lai and Rach, they're such nice people. His hair is like what mine used to be, the big afro. He's incredible. Yeah. It's a small world.
Small world.
All right, Mark Justin Sylvester's got a question for you. Which comes first, lyrics or melody?
melody almost always. Sometimes on a rare occasion, where's my phone? It's over there. I'll show you my voice notes. It's funny, the titles. I hate hearing my own voice notes back. It's so embarrassing. But this is my voice memos. Yeah, and so I've got this one, really good melodies, and then sometimes I'll listen back to it. I was like, that sounds whack. Like thinking, but this is just like literally. I mean, this is only the last few days.
Wow.
This is now a week ago, but I've got. Like, I don't. Oh, you can't really see that, can you? But it's like
now, yeah.
I mean, I'm talking
all that.
You
just hum the melody into your.
I'll just hum a melody. I might get a melody, and I'll yeah. I mean, it's yeah.
But how do you know that it's not something you've heard from someone else? You know what I mean?
Say that again. How do I stop that? There we go.
I said, how would you know that it's not something that you've probably heard 10 years ago from someone else? Sometimes it comes.
I'm usually pretty good with that stuff. Like if I'm in a session, I always am asking myself, is it something that I've heard before? And normally I can identify if I've ripped it off or not.
Right.
I think all melodies that all songwriters come up with are just kind of variations of things that they've heard in the past and yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I've written songs. Actually, the very first song I ever wrote, I was a huge ripoff, and it was. I remember I was dumped by this girl, and I wrote this song, and the chorus said, "Please don't go. I need you by my side, girl. You know." I need someone to confide in. Take me on, and I'll never do you wrong. I need your love, so please don't let me go. And then I thought, this is a great song that I've written. And then I heard the radio the next day, and Tevin Campbell's song came on. Like da 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 da. Yeah, I wanna tell you.
Yeah.
so I think I learned early on that make sure I check first to see if I've ripped somebody off.
Oh, Guy, I went through the same thing in school. Like we had to compose a piece of music for music class. Like I was like, 16? And then created this beautiful piano melody, and then
that sounds great.
Honestly, I'm not even kidding. My teacher walked by and was like, Ashley, this, it's kind of like Bach. And I'm like,
have you heard of this?
Yeah, I meant to do that. I wanted to highlight, this little riff.
But
you got Melissa who wants to know on your tour dates, man.
Yeah. Tour dates. So I'm touring next year. Well, I haven't finalized the tour dates only because things keep changing, obviously, with COVID and we've got a bit of a breakout here in one of our states here in Victoria, and it's very sad, and I just want to make sure that when I announce the tour that I can definitely play the shows and tour, and so I'm definitely touring next year, and then I'll make it happen somehow. But that's why there's a bit of a I guess a bit of a delay, but definitely touring. The album is done in the next few weeks, so ready for release probably late September. I think that's what we're looking at. Hey, yeah, early October, late September, so really, really soon.
Nice. Shall we? I think we need to wrap up in a bit, right? Because it's past 7:30. Let's just take this last one from Melissa.
Okay,
sure. Which artists are your biggest inspiration? I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of soul music. It sort of evolved. I love artists like Sam Cooke and Otis Redding and those old school guys. But then, man, like Boyz II Men, Brian McKnight. Some of these people I've got to work with now, which is crazy. When I first started, and then I guess at the moment I'm listening to so many different artists. Like if I have to think about what I've been listening to just this week, Laney has this great song called If This Is the Last Time. It's about his mum and dad. It's beautiful. Lauv, I can never say his name.
Love. I just say Love.
Oh man, his songs are amazing. And then people like Annie Lennox, Ari Lennox,
Mm-hmm.
Ari Lennox. There's a song she released recently which is super soulful. My gosh, Julia Michaels.
Julia Michaels.
So many. There's so many different people who are influencing me right now. Cautious Clay, Labyrinth, James Blake. Like, there's so many amazing artists that I draw inspiration from, and yeah, it's I'm pretty lucky now with streaming. We can kind of like just take our pick.
Right. One quick question though, since you mentioned Brian McKnight, what did you think when Brian McKnight said that this last album was going to be his final album?
We've got this legendary artist here in Australia. His name's John Farnham, and you might have heard him. And he's got this huge song called "You're the Voice," and it's basically one of it's like our unofficial national anthem. And he's been saying for years that he is going to. He's been saying for a long time, "This is my very last tour," and then he'll do another tour, and he'll say, "This is my last tour." I think artists sometimes say that when they need to take a break, but as a fan of Brian, I don't want to believe it. I think Brian will get the itch again, and he'll come back with something amazing. Yes. I mean, you know what? I remember the first time I got to work with Brian. He's amazing, but I remember the first time I heard his voice, because this was at a time where it wasn't like now where you can just search music and find music. This was when we didn't even have these CDs and stuff in Australia. You couldn't find it. This American R&B, and it was really hard to find. And my brother, he was listening to a radio station online. It was terrible quality, but like in dial-up days when it was so slow. and he somehow tapped into this American R&B station, and I heard this song "Anytime" by Brian McKnight, and it changed my life. I was like, what am I listening to? And I remember there was one record store in Melbourne that sold R&B records from America, and I made a trip all the way to Melbourne just to go to this record store to buy a Brian McKnight record. And when I was there, I discovered Eric Benet and all these other artists, and it's incredible. I think people are so lucky now to have such accessibility to music. It's so easy for young artists to learn and to like discover new music. It was a lot harder when I guess we were all growing up.
Mm-hmm. We used to have mixtapes, remember?
Oh yeah. My very first album I bought I was in Malaysia, and it was New Kids on the Block.
No, yes.
I love
my first one. I hope it was real. I probably bought a fake one.
Was it on a tape?
Cassette?
It was cassette. Yeah, it was on cassette. Yeah. Oh man, I was obsessed.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Guy Sebastian. We've had some other comments coming in. When are you coming to Malaysia next? Do let us know, kind of thing.
You know what? You can expect me to be there in not much time. As soon as those borders open, I am going to book the flight. So look, we're living in pretty it's pretty there's a lot of unknowns at the moment, but it's a time to stay positive, and a time to we will look forward to better days where we can all be together again, and it will happen. But I just want to applaud you guys for what you're doing as well as a station, and with the campaigns around mental health. It's something that's close to my heart, and I'm really absolutely stoked that you chose my song to use for that campaign. So thank you so much.
And we want to thank you for that amazing song as well.
Yeah.
Absolute pleasure. Well, thanks.
Thank you so much for spending time with us and the fans.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
So good to meet you. Thank you.
Absolutely. See you guys. See you guys soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.